Okay, so this next skill for our class is looking at setting up hydrocclumator packs, moist heating pads. We have 3 different sizes. We have this one, which is a kind of an awkward looking size. It's called the cervical hot pack, but we use it for other areas, and I'm going to show you like 4 or 5 areas that we use it on in just a moment. And then we have a smaller, square rectangular pack, and then we have a larger one, and we'll get to the large one at the end. So we're going to start with this one first, and kind of you have to remember when we're going to come over here to, I've got a smaller hydrocclumator unit here, and we also have a larger one in the other part of the training room. But I'm going to start here by showing, come on over here. You know, this water's pretty darn hot. I think it's between like 150 to 170, and you don't want to go touching the water and being in contact too often with it, so you don't want to burn yourself. There are tabs, if you notice this, tabs on the packs. So this one actually happens to be underneath the water, so I use, I'll say it unconventionally. Yeah, I just use a pair of scissors to fish this out. And when I do grab these, you got to realize that, again, it's still pretty hot. So I pull it out, I'm going to let the water drip off. And this one, again, it's an unusual one because it's got this kind of interesting shape and it's designed to go around the neck, but we use it in other areas. So now I'm ready just to put it in its, this is a terry cloth cover, and so we flip it in there, and then flip this over, and then we actually have Velcro on this side and a Velcro strap here to adhere it to the body part, especially when we're doing the neck. What I do is I use a towel, and what I'll do is I kind of like double over the towel like this, and I'll put it over the towel, over the terry cloth cover that way. Now, if we were going to do the neck, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch here real quick. If we do the neck, we'll go ahead and put it on the neck this way and have the athlete sit up straight, and then we can go ahead and we can secure the Velcro strap. And then they're in this position, and the thing that you want to tell the athlete is, hey, if it gets too hot, let us know. We can always then open it up and vent the heat out a little bit, or actually add some more layers. We can add another towel. It should be told to the athlete that, hey, if it, again, does get too hot, say something. We don't want you to burn yourself. Okay, so this is an example of using that cervical for what it was intended. Let me show you a couple of areas of the body that we also use this for. I like to use it for the shoulder. So I'm just going to go from here, and now I'm going to go to the shoulder. So we could just drape it over the shoulder this way. Okay. And then here's another interesting one that I've actually been using lately to get underneath the shoulder, kind of like in that lat area, or the lats right here, is I'll do this, and then I'll have the athlete go ahead and put your arm down on it. Yep, there you go. They can hold it that way, or they can actually even lay on their side. And then I continue to go down the body. Ready? So here we go. A lot of times when we have the athlete like having some issues with, like, let's say a hip flexor, we'll go ahead and where we can lay that in there that way. And then also we can even go more into the groin area where we can lay that and actually have them tuck it underneath the leg. So then moving on, you ready? Go ahead, Brandon, slide on back real quick. The other area that I use this for is actually I like to use it, thank you, Brandon's going to kick off the shoe real quick, is I like to use it for the ankle, okay? And so what we do here is we just wrap it around the ankle this way. And I can actually take the 2 ends and I can kind of tuck it underneath one another, and then Brandon, slide back just a little bit more. And then they can hold right there, and then it's set in place. But once again, letting the athlete know if it gets too hot, then I'll go ahead and kind of fillet it open a little bit like that, or maybe even add another towel. So you've got some options to use with this pack in certain areas of the body. All right, so we're back again, and now we're going to use the neck size, and that is this square looking one right here. I've got it by the tabs, and it's still pretty hot, and let the water drip off. And I've got 2 terry cloth covers here. Something to note is if you don't have the terry cloth covers, you're going to have to use multiple towels. You have to figure out what's going to work for you and your athletes. So I flip that over, and then I've got a double layering there. Now, this hot pack, I've got options to use it. I'm still going to go ahead and grab a towel and add some extra layering. I'll just do it this way. And then, so I might use this, here's an example. If Brandon were laying down, I could use this and put it between like the interscapular area for a smaller area. I could even use this on the back, but I'm going to show you this much larger one that we have where you can encompass the whole entire back. What I might use this for here is, let me go to Brandon's thigh, like trying to warm up the quad, Or I could do just the opposite, flip him over and put it on his hamstring, okay? Or I could even have Brandon sit on it. But this is something you have to remember too, when you're laying a hot pack on somebody versus actually them laying on it. If they lay on it, they're gonna trap the heat in, it'll heat up faster. And you've gotta again explain to them, hey, if it gets too hot, let us know. But Brandon could do this. If you want to heat up his hamstring, we could lay that underneath there and you can actually sit on it, okay? All right, then here, go ahead. Then slide on back, Brandon, real quick. We could simply, if we just want to heat up the knee, sure, we can go ahead then and drape that over. And then, kind of working your way back down, you could, do the calf. They're laying over on their stomach, or again, if they want to trap it underneath, that's fine too as well. You could always then, if you're trying to get the sides a little bit more too, you could secure this with, oh, thank you, that's smart thinking, I like that. Or actually just secure it with a, you could tuck a towel on both sides, or you can use like an ace wrap. Okay. One other thing that we didn't really discuss, so we kind of avoided this area of the body, but you can use the same thing. It's just a matter of placing the athlete in a position. They could lay down if you were trying to heat up their bicep. You could go ahead and lay down, Brandon. I mean, you could have them lay down if that's the case. You could, you could have it drape right on them like this and wrap it around. So you just have to be, be that critical thinker that we try to talk about in class and be creative with how you use this, all right? Okay, so the third installment of our hot pack setup is, this is the larger of the three. So come on over here. Again, really hot water. If it's submerged, I'll use a pair of scissors to get the tabs. This, I can actually get the tabs and I'll pull it out. So you see how large this is compared to the smaller square rectangular one. So I'll show you what we can do in terms of options in using this one. So let's go ahead and get the water off. I'm going to come over here to my terry cloth covers. I've got 2 of them. I'm going to fold this in half. And then I've got some toweling over in the other area. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up in just a second. Good. All right, so we're getting ready to put the towel over, so we've got another layer. And so here's some options with this rather large hot pack. You could do, why don't you lift your legs up and I'll do it that way. So if we want to heat up both the athlete's calves, that's fine. What if we wanted to heat up their shins or whatever? We could do the exact same thing. Let's pull that out. If we want to go ahead and heat up their quads at the same time, we could do that, okay? It's just, you have a larger pack, you have more to work with. We could actually then do the same thing if we were gonna go ahead and do, and hold on just a second, Brandon. If we were gonna do their hamstrings, okay? But we could have them sit on it, or actually, which I would prefer to do, I'd probably lay it on them. So we'll get back to that one in just a second. But I want to show how we can use this for his low back. All right. So scoot up just a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to lay this down here, and I'm going to go ahead and have Brandon sit on the hot pack. I want you to get your butt up on the low. There you go, and then lay back. And if I need to, I might have the athlete, inch his way back up the hot pack to make sure his whole back is set up. There you go. And what I like to do here then is, we're going to go ahead and elevate his legs. So I'm going to have him bring both your knees towards your chest. There you go, and back down. I have a few more of these pads here where we can actually elevate them even higher depending upon what's comfortable for the athlete. So this is one way to do the low back, but then we have another way to do that too. So let's go ahead and do this one. Yeah, bring your knees up here, and then we remove that. And then go ahead, Brandon, just come off the hot pack. Let's say the athlete doesn't like that position. Go ahead and go onto your stomach. So simply put, we're in this position here, right? We can just go ahead and lay the hot pack. Now look, I can lay it the length this way, and I can almost get his entire back from his low back even up to his shoulder blades, interscapular, or maybe I just turn it the other way, right? And I lay it that way to get that kind of whole entire low back and a little bit of his thoracic spine too, okay? The last thing is kind of looking back again at the hamstrings where I told you, another way I like to do that, just slide it on down there. You can heat up both hamstrings. You might even get a little bit of the glutes too as well, okay? So again, it's being creative with the packs that you have and how you use it. We've got 3 packs. We showed you a variety of ways of using them, but just remember, your classic setup, I like to use the 2, so kind of go over this again. We've got our 2 terry cloth covers that we set up first. We've always got a layer of toweling too as well. And then explain to the athlete, that if they get too hot, God, let us know. We don't want them to feel like they're getting burnt, and then we'll go ahead and adjust things. one last thing to remember too is if it feels like it's getting cool, we can always then remove one of the layers, like start with a toweling first, then remove the layer. Last thing too, although our model here had jeans on, I mean, you can go right to the skin. This isn't an issue where we need extra clothing on, okay? All right? So hopefully that helps you guys, all right? Great.